guys, how's it going? Markel TV here, back with another video. And in this video, we're going to talk about the rules, okay? The VA rules, the 5-year, 10-year, 20-year, and 100% rule, okay? So let's get started. Now, before I talk about these individual rules, the first thing you need to understand is that if the VA can prove fraud in any level, they can prove fraud. These protections mean absolutely nothing. Okay, so let's get started. 5-year rule. So basically, if you've had a service connection for 5 years or longer, less than 10 years, okay, between 5 and less than 10, the VA cannot reduce your rating or take your rating away unless they can prove over a sustained period of time, and there's no set time, like 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, but a reasonable amount of time. So I would say anywhere from like a year to 3 years, that your disability has improved greatly and that your disability was temporary. They cannot take it away. But if they can prove your disability was basically temporary, could they reduce your rating? Yes. Could they take your rating away? Yes, they can. Okay? Now that is the 5-year rule. Let's move to the 10-year rule. The 10-year rule basically states that if you've had your disability, your service connection, for 10 years or longer, your service connection is protected. Meaning, let's say you had a service connection for your right knee. Your right knee, regardless of what happens, you're gonna have that protection for that 10-year period, okay? As soon as your rating hits that 10-year mark, that service connection is now protected. Can it still be reduced? Yes, it can be. So even though it's protected, let's say you had a 40% rating and you've had some kind of surgery, or it has miraculously gotten better, and they can prove that it's gotten better over the last year, 2 or 3, can they reduce it from 40% to say 10%? Yes, they can, okay? But the service connection itself is protected. Now let's move to the 20-year rule. The 20-year rule basically states that if you've had your service connection for 20 years or longer, okay, the VA cannot reduce it. The VA cannot take it away unless they prove fraud. Okay, so at the 20-year mark, there's nothing they can do unless fraud is involved, all right? So it is protected from reduction, it is protected from them taking it away. Now let's move to the 100% rule. The 100% rule is basically this. If you are 100% either scheduler or TDIU, okay? And let's just say you've never been given PNT status. Once you hit that 20-year mark, you automatically become permanent and total, okay? But let me just interject right here and say this to you guys who have these 100% ratings. If you have a 100% rating, right, whether it's scheduler or TDIU, you do not have to wait for the VA to give you PNT. After 5 years, which you have shown a consistent pattern of having a 100% rating, you can apply for permanent and total status. You do not have to wait, okay? As long as you've had it, I would say a minimum of 5 years or longer, right? You can go and apply for permanent and total status, all right? Now the last one I want to get to is individuals who are at the age of 55 and your PNT, your permanent and total. So you're 55 or older and you have permanent and total status, okay? It is highly unlikely, even if you've only had it 3 years, okay? It is highly unlikely the VA is going to do anything looking at your file once you reach 55 or older, okay? The only way, and this is for you people who are PNT, 100% PNT, and you had it minimum 10 years or longer, all right? The only way the VA can go in and reduce it or do anything to it is if you put in a claim for your file to be open. You initiated the claim, okay? If you never initiated the claim, they have no reason whatsoever to go into your file, all right? Now, for all of you who are less than 100%, all right? There is no P&T status for ratings less than 100%. And those of you who are less than 100%, your file is going to be reviewed periodically. Okay. Now, all these same protections still apply to you, except for the 100% rule and the 55. Well, you know, at that point, whatever your rating is at 55, they're pretty much going to leave you alone. But the 100% rule does not apply to you if you're less than 100% with this. Okay. Now, in my next video, I'm going to talk to you guys about understanding time, because a lot of people are confused with disability and the way the clock works when timing your disability. All right. So that's going to be my next video when I talk about the VA clock for service connection, because a lot of people don't understand how that clock works. All right. So until then, guys, hopefully this information helped you